Hey, what's up? It's Fuel Your Life Friday. Let's go. Last Friday, September 18th, the remarkable Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Supreme Court Justice and women's rights and equal rights activist, passed away. Admirably nicknamed Notorious RGB for all of the massive waves and ripples of change she initiated, Ruth was the second female to sit on the Supreme Court. Her journey started long before she was appointed in the 90s, and I could list an insane amount of amazing accomplishments that are on her list of achievements. But one of my favorites was that she co-founded the Women's Rights Project at the American Civil Liberties Union, aka the ACLU, in 1972. Now, if you haven't heard of the Women's Rights Project, allow me to read straight from the ACLU website with a description. Through litigation, community outreach, advocacy, and public education, WRP empowers poor women, women of color, and immigrant women who have been subject to gender bias and who face pervasive barriers to equality. I mean, seriously. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was a world shifter. I thought today's episode would be a great way to honor a woman who paved the way for so many, so here are my 5 favorite quotes from Ruth Bader Ginsburg that will help you fuel your life. Number 1, my mother told me to be a lady, and for her, that meant to be your own person. Be independent. Number 2, this one came from the Washington Post in an interview in 2014, and she said, if you have a caring life partner, you help the other person when that person needs it. I had a life partner who thought my work was as important as his, and I think that made all of the difference for me. Number 3, fight for the things you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. Number 4, don't be distracted by emotions like anger, envy, resentment. These just zap energy and waste time. And lastly, this quote was from an MSNBC interview in 2015 when she asked how she would like to be remembered. She said, someone who used whatever talent she had to do her work to the very best of her ability and to help repair tears in her society, to make the things a little better through the use of whatever ability she has. RGB was an unstoppable force, a trailblazer, and a pioneer. The seeds of change she planted will be harvested by hundreds of thousands of women for generations to come. If you have a favorite RGB quote, share it with me. I'm everywhere on social media at MindBizLife. If you enjoyed today's episode, share it with a friend and leave a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever it is that you tune in and turn it up. I'll see you back here next week for another episode, but until then, remember, every level of life is an opportunity to grow. Be well, my friend.